Okay, so I'm going to be going over a city council meeting on October 3rd, 2023. This is a hearing where 14 people spoke against a project, and this was consideration to approve case number 2113AN, which is an annexation, which in the end the city just decided not to annex the property, so they might be able to go to the county to get it looked at. Applicant requests annexation approval for approximately 76.02 acres and to zone the property R6, R12, and C12, and requests preliminary plat approval in order to subdivide the site into 16 commercial lots, 132 single-family lots, 9 multi-family lots, and 22 common lots. The site is located at the southwest corner of Meridian and Hubbard Roads. Okay, so let's start this up. The key word which comes up frequently is the word extortion. So here we go.
And then just want to touch on one item of school support. I've had a few meetings with members of the school district and their consultants and talking about kind of how we are prepared to support the school district. We're obviously in strong support of the bonds. We send out mailers and flyers to our communities as bonds come up, putting signage on our properties asking them to vote yes. As you know, CUNA schools are in kind of a crisis of facilities and lack of facilities. Just kind of talking about it, I know there's been a lot of chatter about this voluntary fee of impact fee of giving schools a voluntary fee, and we kind of ran up the chain of our new ownership and our new kind of legal counsel, and they are not on board with some sort of voluntary fee. In fact, they likened it as a potential bribe situation or kind of an extortionary situation. So the idea that we're going to be paying money or committing to pay money directly to a school district in exchange for their voice of support at this podium tonight, they did not feel comfortable doing. And so again, there are corporate governance laws and accountants laws we need to be following, and that's not something that they are going to be, that we are generally going to support tonight. There's other ways that we'd like to support, as I said, through getting out the word for the bond election, as well as working with the school district and finding property and finding pieces of land. There's other properties that we've worked with them on as far as doing utility infrastructure improvements that will extend to their sites. I know that the school district is looking particularly for a site on the southwest portion of town. I've talked to Principal Robbie Reno about that, and as we're looking at that side of town, we can work together and be partners on that level. But when it comes, just for full disclosure, when it comes to paying a fee, we're not on board with that sort of action. The transportation investment.
Okay, so there was another project where they gave like $2 to $3 million for a school site. That's in Ada County. You'll be seeing about that in a different video. I'm not sure if I discussed that particular aspect. That's one way to help but it's not just the school that's coming or the school that you need support from. It's also everyone else. I mean, we know just how full the schools are. So it's not just about the school district and making them happy, but it's about the schools are full. So how do you deal with that? How do you agree to additional construction in that sort of situation? All right. So there were 14 people. I believe this was number 6. This was by Danielle Horace. And she is the District Director of Strategic Partners. Basically, I mean, there's a YouTube video that talks about what she does. All right, here it is.
Danielle Horace.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Danielle Horace, CUNA School District, Director of Strategic Partners, and I am at 711 East Porter. I have a clarity question. Is it possible for more people to testify if they haven't signed in? There are questions around here.
Yeah, we can do that.
So yes, okay, thank you. Well, I want to start with a legal definition of extortion, because I think we need to define that word. So that word is the use of force or threat of force to obtain money or another item of value from another person. Many jurisdictions classify extortion as a crime against property, but the threat of harm to a person is an essential element of the offense. So I'm here saying that I do not extort on behalf of CUNA School District. And I resent the implication. What I will do is support the heck out of our kids, and I will do so loudly and proudly with them. So I want to share with you, this new school district, or this new development is going to directly impact Silver Trail Elementary, CUNA Middle School, and CUNA Swan Falls, okay? Let me share with you a little bit of the numbers. They're not great. Silver Trail currently has 583 littlest students there. We're at a capacity of 616. That's 95% capacity right now today. That's not accounting for the other developments approved, right? So we already know that even if we go to our voters and ask for a bond, Silver Trail is going to be full. Is it going to be full 110, 140, 170% capacity? That's really up to us today, but we already know it's going to be full. CUNA Middle School, capacity of 810. Current students, 739. Oh, those awkward little people running around middle school. That's 91% capacity. Are we going to go for 110, 130? What's our goal here? How do we want to serve our kids? Swan Falls High School, CUNA, 1,900 student capacity. We did. We built what we could with the money that our residents could afford. We have 1,904 kids there. These are our future. These are our residents and our workers, and we're at 101 capacity today. So this is not me pressing the red button and saying, hey, I think there might be a problem. I'm telling you loudly, it's a problem today. I also want to share with you something. I did meet with Mr. Connors. We had a great conversation. He's very different today, I'll tell you that. In that conversation, it was brought up that in June, locally owned Hubble, by a gentleman that is known in the community, sold Hubble to a Japanese-based, they call themselves a regional power builder. They're called Sekisui. And if I say that wrong, I'm sorry, but that's what I looked up at how to say it. Hubble's annual revenue has $300 million. They just acquired another Houston-based, Texas, and they like to call them power builders. Their annual revenue is $514 million. I'm telling you, these folks have some money. And we need it. We need it for our kids. We need it for our schools. And frankly, we should stop going to our residents and asking them to pay for the cost of growth. CUNA has grown faster than the systems we have to support adding new residents, period. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
So one of the things that you'll hear from, I think it was Mr. Connors, the developers rep, is that states like California and Texas, they do allow for impact fees, which basically means the developer can pay based off of a formula into some fund that I guess is maybe controlled by the state. I'm not sure exactly who controls the funds. To pay for future school developments, so that would resolve, the overcrowding school issues based off of that formula, and then the developer feels safe to do that versus just paying some money directly to the CUNA school district without it being tied specifically to the project. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they could wrap it in as a condition. I'm not exactly sure how that would work. California has a thing called Melrose taxes, where it allows property taxes, special property tax line item, to be assigned to a new development to fund a specific school that is built for them. Anyway, let's hear his response. There were 14 people that came to this hearing and spoke there. Let's see here. Extortion. Okay. Oh yeah, and yeah, the schools are full. So it's not just the school district that's having issues. It's everyone who's bringing a student. And like passing bonds, those don't seem to be passing very well. So I mean, it does kind of make sense. It's like, why am I paying forward for schools that my kid isn't going to go to? It's just like for all the new people and to benefit the developer, and for the developer to advertise and say, oh, we're building a new school, but I have to pay for it. So it's kind of like, there's some kind of solution needs to be found. So here it is. Common theme. All right. So the nice thing is you can just hit Control F and look for certain keywords.
Well, there's a common theme, and I just want to acknowledge the one that's kind of standing out most, and that's the support of schools. And Danielle, I know we've had multiple conversations, and I feel like I did say potentially extortionary and potentially illegal. And so when I say that, the idea is when we were talking about paying a fee or paying something that it doesn't have to be a direct fee, it can be or something similar to that. When we brought it up as a company, and yes, we're not owned by a local group now, we're owned by Woodside Homes, and it is a subsidiary of a Japanese company. Any dollar we spend or anything we do, as you all know, if you work for any sort of corporation, they need to make sure that it's legal and it's not going in someone else's pocket or whatever. And we're highly scrutinized as a developer on where money goes and everything like that. And so when I brought it up as, hey, if we can pay a fee, if we can pay for a consultant to help pass these bonds, if there's different ways we can support, they said we cannot directly pay for anything that's going to do this in exchange for a positive vote of support. And so saying tonight and telling you tonight that I can write you a check for $50,000 tomorrow if you come up with this form of project, they were not comfortable with that. That said, there are ongoing conversations that I'm having with the Builders and Contractors Association in the city. We're talking to legislators working to get legal, or not legal, but required impact fees for school districts. As many of y'all know, in Idaho, cities can't, or school districts can't impose impact fees. Like a lot of times you see in Texas or in California, a lot of us come from other states. That's what we're accustomed to. In Idaho, all those fees, the money for facilities either comes directly from the state or it comes from bonds. And so that's something that we're advocating for and that I am a very strong support of. So I just want to get that out of the way. Also, just talking about the transportation issues. So we did have a neighborhood meeting a couple years ago with our neighbors who submitted our application soon after the neighbor.
Okay, I think that covers it. The extortion and the battle with overflowing CUNA schools. There were other layers regarding traffic and the lack of traffic studies, but that goes beyond the scope of this video. And you can argue traffic studies all day long. I'm not sure. You know, in the end, I think the traffic studies of Ada County Highway District typically probably will prevail. But anyway, all right, have a good one.